Alright, now we're making a video. Yay! Anyway, Matt, sort of related to the Piro thing, but just Matt first. I'll do Piro later. I'll play his video and read comments, which are hilarious. But anyway, so Matt on communication, which I like. I forgot my damn notes, but I'm going back because I'm late. So, damn it. You said some things, about the nature of communication being, again, back to this experiential word, like somehow I need other people to, have a theory of life. And I don't think that's at all true. What we need other people for, why we need to communicate with other people, is to get something done. That's, in my opinion, I don't find any use in communicating with people if I can't get them motivated to do something. I mean, otherwise communication is nothing. Beyond the fact that you can learn through, modify your model through communication. Do the scientific part, the logic part, and find the flaws and test your theory and all that kind of stuff through communication. But I just mean the art of communicating is really, the art of conveying and motivating. You have an understanding, it makes something obvious to you, you want to convey that. So like in our circumstance, the fundamental problem between us is, an issue of description and perception. So I say nature's a meat grinder, quite literally, and it doesn't produce anything but delusional ego aggrandizement. There's no function. It just grinds sentient beings, creatures up, destroys them to repopulate with a new model, and it's insidious. It's more insidious than the gladiator forum of the past. It's worse than bullfighting, worse than cockfighting. Nature is insidious in what it's doing. It's using us as laboratory animals. It's torturing many of us to produce nothing but a new generation of victims. It's a meat grinder. You see it as some sort of spirit engine. And Piro would say, that nature's creating spiritual feelings. I think nature's creating mentalities that are egocentric and will delude themselves into thinking they're king of the world, and create hierarchy and alpha syndrome. So I would argue that Piro has an alpha syndrome. If he's having a spiritual feeling, he's just having some mechanism that kicks in where, he's got to put on his underoos and be so Superman. And he's calling that spiritual. And just like you call religion some kind of benign, personally uplifting, personally actualizing, functional force, like good force in the world, in complete contradiction to what I would claim is reality. Religion is not any of those things. It's substantially a negative force of bigotry, tradition, close-mindedness, stagnation. It creates all these negative things in profuse amounts. And so here we have, this is the substance of our perceptual difference. And it's significant in the sense that, yes, from your perspective, it's non-urgent, okay? Because, from your perspective, somehow nature's okay, and it's just this little human problem. And from my perspective, it's exactly the opposite perspective. So obviously, my level of urgency is going to be much higher than you, because my people, so to speak, are the ones in the concentration camp. You're, you're in some neutral nation, not very highly invested, because you can always fall back to some default nihilist position and just say, well, at least I had a good time. Where, from my perspective, there's no such position. Even if I'm capable of having a good time, because the environment, my personal environment, provides me that opportunity. There's no way I can with the existing condition existing. Knowledge of what's going on makes it impossible for me to personally, cognitively and perceptually and rationally just say it's okay. That just doesn't work. Oh, bummer. I really don't got time, but I really don't want wet feet. So I'm really gonna have to fucking take my shoes off. I don't know if I can get these pants to go up that high though. Yeah, but fuck it. Wish I'd try. I really don't got time for this shit. Anyway, sorry about the noise. So this is sort of the order of communication. Something I think you and Piero are both ignoring is that it's not about the experience. You're always, both of you, are always talking about experiences, and I don't think that's a practical reality. It's this has got to be functional. Language has got to be functional, and so we have to have a common language. We have to, when we say a word, it has to mean something. And again, we're back to the fundamental descriptions of our reality. You say we're living in some sort of potential theme park or something where, yeah, it's all swirling around and heading for somewhere, and the universe is evolving into something, and blah, 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 blah. And the universe wants to have a conversation, and the universe is proud of itself, and all this kind of stuff in this reality where I'm saying, where's the evidence for any of that? You're just making that crap up. Sorry, but what else is it? There's no evidence that that's what the universe is doing. There's every evidence that the universe is going to. This is a hiccup in the function of the universe. Less than a hiccup. I don't know what it's a little slip in the brakes. It's a non-event as a universal event. It just doesn't. It's what chemistry is capable of. It's like it's like the Nixon potato chip, right? I mean, a potato chip can be found that looks like Richard Nixon or Mother Mary. It's not what the universe was trying to do, and it certainly doesn't have any durability. It doesn't represent anything. It doesn't mean anything. It won't have any enduring meaning. It's not special information that the universe created. That's another Piero concept. Now, I mean, he's taking all of, well, you do it too, Matt. You're both alike in these respects. You're taking concepts of science and trying to force them, into the, vagina of spiritualism. You're just not playing fair with the facts. The new science does not open doors to mysticism. It doesn't do any of that. It just extends the fog another mile or two. So we have a little farther to go to get to the horizon of knowledge on these subjects, because we find it's a little more complex than first thought. But there's nothing indicating there's still not the same mechanics behind it. Nothing overtly indicating. Certainly when people start talking about particles like the God particle, they'll create a mystique that'll delude people into thinking there's some evidence that magic or voodoo has something to do with these fundamental particles, but it doesn't as evidence. The evidence doesn't point to that. Only the presumptions and interpretations of people point to that. So again, the the unresolvable conflict here, for me, is that obviously seeing the universe as a steamroller run amok, seeing the biological enslavement. Piro's always talking about freedom and the social slavery, and this is why I call him glib. It's because the worst slavery in the universe is what's happening to the animals being exploited by nature. Every single day they are tortured to refine their genetic code, to augment a genetic code to create a better warrior. They are enslaved, brutalized, and just overtly and quite mechanically raped of dignity and comfort. And this is our reality, and this, like I said, I think there's all the evidence points to this reality being the truth. I mean, it's a truth. I'm not doubtful. I don't have a single shred of doubt that that's what this is. That's what's going on here. This is not a good thing. This is a dangerous thing, a highly dangerous thing. And this glib dismissal of the real value stakeholders, while people have conversations about how their spirit is going to ride the cosmic waves, into the black hole singularity, is an insult and a violation. So here, sentient life has been raped by this disgusting experiment, and then you people come along and show up and start glibly, talking about, how you can maybe build a good house out of the carcasses of all those dead salmon, or something like that. You're talking about utility and function to building yourselves an ivory tower, so you can, say how, oh look, isn't the flower pretty? Piro just went on about that in a video. Oh, it just gets more and more beautiful, blah 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 blah. And I'm listening to this mushy talk. It's like, it's hard for me to analogize it for you, but I want you to understand why communication is very difficult. Is because it's like during the Holocaust, if there was people glibly talking about how sexy the skinny men were, or some kind of nutty crap like that, I'm sure some people might find it a little fucking offensive. And frankly, I find this denial of the only road, the truth, really, really offensive. To glibly say, well, I think we can get by with a lie. I think we can have a silly little lie, and we can dance our little dance, and there'll be no harm and no foul. And we'll try to skirt our way through all the neutral territory in this war, and take responsibility for nothing. And that's the bullshit here. Is we have to be accountable. We have to pay the piper. You're not going to fix it for free. There is no simple or easy solution. They're all going to require a compromise of our ambition and our ego. And nobody wants to do that. And so nothing's going to get done. That's good. There was a point I wanted to make related to that. The whole there's work to be done, and the insult to the dignity thing. Oh yeah, the truth. Yeah, because man, you play with this word truth. Because I think you want the out. You want the, well, let's just make it up kind of thing, or will just turn into a personal narrative kind of thing, and we'll kind of evade the fact that, if there is an explicit truth, we have an obligation to it, just in terms of our own, just logically, it makes sense to be honest creatures rather than dishonest creatures. But I guess I would argue that you're not going to be able to pave the road to a better future with lies. That's not going to work. Lying is not going to get you to the truth, right? Lying is not going to get you to a destination where the truth has been honored. Not likely, anyway. I suppose there's a possible scenario where a few little bends and twists of the truth can get the job done, but in theory, you're not going anywhere good if you're paving the road with nonsense, with made-up contrivances. It's almost back to the Al Gore, inconvenient truth argument. You're not going to clean it up if you keep reaching for convenient truths. If they've got to be palatable and not upset your stomach, well, that's asking too much from reality. Because frankly, it doesn't come in that flavor. It is, in fact, a messy business, and you're not going to unmess it unless you understand it and can play it. You've got to know this instrument completely if you're going to get any music out of it, and you can't do that casually or sloppily or recklessly. It really has to be played seriously. We have to play our lives seriously, and we have to be the facts will lead us to the conclusions if we let them. The facts point to them. The facts scream them, and we don't really have to look any further than that. So anyway, enough of a video. Doing a bit of social work today. Going out and about with the real humans. Need a proper stick. I can't deal with people without a stick. Yeah, that's a good stick. Actually, it's going to be a camera stick, but we'll just pretend I'm going to go whap people with it, right? Because that's more fun. Yeah, I think it won't break. Probably use one that's a little more flexible, but this will do, pig. So, they had the ambulance ready for me. Right there. I can walk right in. Cool. Yeah. So anyway, this whole communication thing is a gnarly mess, and what turns into, agreeable premises and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, it really is hard for me to have some sort of academic discussion, about how much we will deny and ignore the horrible suffering being endured to play this game. I mean, how much are we going to dismiss it, ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, so we can enjoy our game? And I guess I'm saying we in kind of a dishonest way, because obviously I can't do that. I can't play this. I have to play something else, because I can't play this. Yeah, pretty much. And so forth. Anyway, enough. So, until next time.